Pets Add Life, your guide to the latest in pet trends, products, and the joy of the human-animal bond, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and Dog TV.
Alrighty, welcome to the 23rd episode of Pets Add Life, the podcast with your hosts, Kristen Levine, that's me, and Chris Bonifati. Hey, Chris.
That's me.
How you doing today?
I am doing great. We had some tech issues rolling into this episode, so we already have the giggles. I'm sure that the energy's unhinged.
Yeah,
the energy's
it is.
unhinged.
Off the charts.
No, normally we have to build up to something, but I feel like we've gotten a lot of that out of our system, so we're here full of energy. Episode 23. I can't believe 23 episodes. We've been doing this for, what's that, almost half a year now.
You're right.
That's insane. That's crazy.
26 will be half.
So many great guests, so many great stories, so many great products. And guess what? We're going to bring you some more. We've got some awesome guests this episode. I don't want to give away too much, but I did want to prompt us by saying, do you guys know dogs can surf? We're going to get a little bit into that this episode. We're going to give you 2 stories, 2 products, and answer 2 of your questions. So hold on to your cats, dogs, and horses, and let's jump right on into this episode of the PAL Podcast.
Kristen and Chris present Storytime.
All right, well, as usual, we're going to kick it off with Storytime, and I really like my story today. I'm really excited about it.
Is that implying that you don't always like your story?
No, it's just what I always like my story, but when I stumbled on this story, I thought this is really cool, and it's a cat story, so you're gonna love it.
Oh, okay,
you're
awesome.
A cat guy. So this is about rescue jobs for cats.
Okay.
Now, so that's the teaser right there. Now I'm gonna tell you where I'm going with this. So there is a brewery in New York City called the Torch and Crown Brewery, and they are the latest business to put a rescue cat to work as part of a brand new adoption program through the, what's it called? It's the Hard Hat Cats Rescue Group and Animal Care Centers of New York. These 2 rescue groups have collaborated to create a really unique adoption program for adult cats. And as you probably know, Chris, during the summertime, shelters and rescues are loaded with cats and kittens. And it's really a tough time for them. And so what they found is that they always have the harder to adopt cats that might, typically it's because they're less social. The kittens get adopted instantaneously, and then the very social cats that kind of get your attention when you're at the shelter, those are the ones that get adopted first. But these less socialized or less outgoing cats tend to be harder to adopt. So they created this program for businesses to adopt these cats so that they kind of go to work at, in this case, the brewery, but they're also placing cats in retail shops, in luxury hotels, and breweries, just to name a few. And this is really working out well. And I just thought that was such a great solution to finding homes for these cats that are having a little bit tougher time.
Well, that's awesome. I know in New York, there is a big culture around bodega cats, but it seems now that we're getting brewery cats, which will be a most welcomed addition. As a brewery hopper myself, I think when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what can make this better? What can make this experience better? Yes, a cat. A cat could make this experience better.
Next time you're in the city, you're going to have to check out the Torch and Crown Brewery, because they adopted not 1, not 2, but 3 rescue cats. And they even created one of their craft beers after the one cat whose name was King Elizabeth, not Queen Elizabeth, King Elizabeth. So,
King Elizabeth.
Check it out.
It's 2024. It's King Elizabeth. That's great. Well, there's breweries and cats does kind of go hand in hand. We have we have a brewery in Connecticut here called Fat Orange Cat Brewery. That started off as like a 1 beer brewery inspired by this person's fat orange cat. And now they have all sorts of cat themed brews. So cats and beer go hand in hand. And I'm glad to hear that some of these cats are finding their passion as brewers.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What's your story, Chris?
My story, as I was scouring the internet for something interesting, I saw a story that included Jennifer Aniston. And because I am a weak 32-year-old male, I clicked the link. But Jennifer Aniston has a relatively famous dog named Clidio, who has something like 1 million Instagram followers, something ridiculous like that, right? Like when the celebrity gets a pet and then everybody loves the pet. So Jennifer Aniston has decided that she is going to write some children's books featuring Clidio. The first one being Clidio Takes a Bite Out of Life. I suppose Clidio must be related to Scruff McGruff, the famous detective who took a bite out of crime.
Right.
But these are going to be 4 books for release on October 1st. A deliciously fun-filled journey of self-discovery and self-confidence. And get this, Clidio will be discovering that he is actually quite a talented cook.
Really?
I love when these children books involve real life animals, because it is very great for a kid to see some of their fiction come to life. Think about like how excited kids get at Disney.
Yes.
And they can meet and interact with Mickey Mouse and Goofy and all those guys. So when they read about this dog and then can see some of the videos of Clidio doing some other dog stuff, it really becomes an engaging experience for children. I'm a firm believer that animals and kids should be raised together. It builds empathy and responsibility.
100%.
And all those great things. So check it out, October 1st. And I'm just, I'm a sucker for Jennifer Aniston. What can I say? So that's the reason the story got clicked. But the reason that I'm presenting it on the podcast is because I do believe kids can learn a lot from animals, and I think it's a great opportunity.
Awesome.
Beyond the Leash, exploring the untold stories of pet passion and professionalism.
I'm really excited to talk to our next guest, Chris, because she's with Trusted Housesitters, which is a really cool platform that I've been super intrigued by. So Angela Laws is a community manager at Trusted Housesitters. Now, this is an organization that connects pet owners with reliable sitters all over the world. Now, Angela has a wealth of experience in both pet sitting and house sitting, and she's traveled extensively caring for pets and homes all over the globe. Her passion for animals and commitment to building a trusted community of pet sitters and owners make her a valuable voice in the pet care industry. So with that, let's welcome Angela. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Chris. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're delighted to have you. And we were chatting before we brought you on, and we learned that you're a Canadian that lives in Scotland, but you're pet sitting today in the south of England. So you do get around.
Yeah, I'm looking after Lenny, who is a 8-month-old Labrador puppy, and I arrived with him on Sunday, and I'm with him for 2 weeks. So in those 2 weeks,
you are so lucky.
I know. In those 2 weeks, I haven't laughed as much in the last 3 days for a long, long time. This little boy he's a big boy actually, is keeping me happy.
I'll bet. Well, you didn't know this, but Labradors are my favorite dog breed. As a matter of fact, my husband and I have had about 5 of them over the course of our time together, and we're actually looking to adopt another one soon. So I can't. You promised we could have a sneak peek at Lenny at some point during this chat.
Absolutely. All I have to do is say treat, and I think say that.
There it is.
Well, let's get down to business. Tell us a bit about how Trusted Housesitters started and how does it work?
Okay, we started in 2010 and actually born in where I am right now in Brighton in England. And it was the dream of a young man who loved animals, loved to travel and liked to put the two together. And he wanted to build a community of pet lovers and pet people who would care for animals as if they were their own and not charge a fee, because our sitters choose to do this for free. And he wanted to connect like-minded people, that's pet parents and sitters, to enable each side to travel with absolute peace of mind for the pet parents and for the sitters to experience authentic travel, unlike traditional travel. But also the main thing, part of it, is having that pet companionship, which for so many people is part of their life. And for so many, for one reason or another, they can't have pets of their own. So this brings together those pets, people, and places in with a synergy that works and works like magic. And so, yes, we've been going for 14 years. We have over 220,000 members across 130 countries. And we've got thousands of pet sits going on every day all around the world.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's sort of like a barter system there, that there's no money changing hands. So can you go a little bit into a little bit more detail on how this process works, what exactly goes into it, maybe from both the pet parent side and the pet sitter side?
Absolutely, Chris. And yes, no money changes hands. It's a fair and mutual exchange. The only money that changes hands is when those pet parents or the sitters come to the site and join the community. There's a membership fee. There's an annual membership fee. There's 3 tiers of membership, and the membership starts at $129 for the year. And for that year, you have access to as many pet sits as you want, or as many pet sitters. So you can use it as much as you want for the whole 12 months. And then what happens is each side creates, the pet parents creates a listing, the pet sitters create a profile, and it's actually just bringing and matching those two so that you get the sitter who can meet the expectations of the pet parents, can meet the pet's needs, which is the most important, and that everybody has a satisfactory and successful sort of experience. And nothing is ever finalized until both sides have done all of their due diligence, if you like, and had those conversations and had that communication. Then when everybody is 100% happy that this is right for them, then an agreement is made, and that's when all the finer details are brought together.
And that's such a brilliant ecosystem that you're offering at Trusted House Sitters. Can you talk a little bit about how you can ensure the safety for the pet parents who are traveling and looking for a sitter for their home? They've never met these people typically, I assume. So how can folks that are looking for a sitter be, assured that these people have been vetted?
And that's an excellent question, Kristen. And it's actually one that is forefront of most people's minds before they actually find out how it works. And so it's like, oh, whoa, stranger in the home. However, there is a process in place through the site. And once that process is followed, for example, every member of the site has an ID check. Sitters are ID verified, and those sitters in the United States have a full background check. There are other sitters who have a background check. The one thing that everybody looks at these days are reviews and references. And our sitters will have reviews from previous pet parents of sits that they've done. If they're new to the platform, it doesn't mean to say they're not experienced and they're not to be trusted, but they may not have those reviews from Trusted House Sitters. However, they will have references, and every sitter has to upload at least 3 references before they can actually become active. And so we have these steps in place, and we have this process, and on the site there's all this information, so that we then say communication is the biggest part of this. And once you do all the communication, what a pet parent is doing is making an educated decision on the information that's available to them, plus that information on the sitters. It's not like getting somebody off the internet that you've just seen there, I'd like to come and visit your house and come in. I've been with Trusted House Sitters since the very beginning for 14 years, and I've been pet sitting, and I never ever take for granted that trust that is put in me by a pet parent when I go into a home. But before I go into that home, I've had so much communication that I know all about the pet, I know all about the home, I know about the pet parents, but equally they know about me. And during that conversation, we recommend that there are video calls. We recommend there are numerous, copious amounts of communication, because if anything goes wrong, and it does happen, it's usually because the communication wasn't done properly, and all the T's weren't crossed and the I's weren't dotted. But you would do that with anybody that was coming into your home. If you were getting a nanny for your children, if you were getting a decorator coming in and you were going to go off to work and leave them the house and they were decorating, you wouldn't just open the door to anybody. You'd make sure that you did all of those checks. And as I say, on the site. But the other thing that we have is we have a membership services team that is available 24/7. So any questions that if somebody's not sure about something before they make that commitment, they can go to membership services and be walked through. But what we find is, because we've got this very unique and special community, they help one another. The experienced sitter, for example, will help the inexperienced pet parent sort of walk through the process and help as much as they can, because it's to everybody's advantage that there is a successful experience for everybody, mainly because of the animals as well.
That's amazing, Angela. And you said you've been doing this for 14 years
Yes.
and pet sitting likely before that. So I imagine you've been in a lot of homes, met a lot of amazing families and animals. Is there a particular story that stands out for you, a visit that you had that really